Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Um, my name is Haris. I'm a former international student. Um, I did my master's in engineering in the US, and then after that I've been working in the US manufacturing industry as an engineer for almost a decade. Um, with this channel I will be sharing my journey of becoming educationally and financially successful in the US, so you can do the same if you choose. So without any further ado, let's go to today's topic. Today's topic is, if you are planning to come to the US as an international student, which degree level should you come for and which subjects should you study, in my opinion. So the degree level refers to either a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, or a PhD. So starting with the bachelor's, as I mentioned in my previous video, the standard of education in the US is pretty high. So from that perspective, you would want to start getting that education as soon as possible. So the bachelor's degree makes sense from that standpoint. Um, Also, with a bachelor's degree, you can start working in the industry pretty much right after graduation. And a lot of people, who start working in the industry, never go back to school, never feel the need to do so. So from that standpoint as well, it looks like a good choice to come for a bachelor's degree. Uh, but on the other end, since a bachelor's degree takes longer to complete, it's a 4-year degree here in the US. The total cost for acquiring that bachelor's degree is going to be more than, say, a master's degree. So that would be one of the factors you need to consider in making that decision. Also, with a bachelor's degree, you're not going to get any financial aid here in the US. So the financial aid offered to international students pursuing bachelor's degrees in the US is very limited. So I wouldn't even think about that, consider that at all. All right. After the bachelor's, let's talk about the PhD. So PhD is the other end of the spectrum. Um, Ideally, you would go for the PhD if you're interested in research and want to pursue a career in research. Research refers to conducting experiments, collecting data, drawing conclusions from your data, and then synthesizing, publishing reports, and so forth. Uh, Also, uh, if you're interested in a career in academia, a PhD is going to be required. So every academic position or role here in the US requires a PhD degree. So if that's something you're interested in, a PhD is the way to go. Uh, the benefit of pursuing a PhD here in the US is that you can start a PhD right after a bachelor's if you choose to do so. In many countries, after the bachelor's, you first have to do a master's degree before you can start a PhD program. But here in the US, most universities offer an expedited path to a PhD. So after the bachelor's degree, they would offer a 5-year program through which you can get your PhD degree. So you're able to save some time that way. You can bypass the master's degree. Also, PhD degrees are mostly fully funded. Well, I would say more than 90% of the time. So what that means is that all the students, or a vast majority of the students that are admitted into PhD programs here in US universities, are fully funded. Like, they don't have to pay any tuition, no tuition or fees, and then the university would actually pay you a monthly stipend to cover your living expenses, and in return for that you would work either as a teaching assistant, a research assistant, something along those lines. um, but my experience has been that a vast majority of PhD students here in the US get 100% financial aid. So a PhD program in that regard is the most beneficial if you're looking for a program where your out of pocket cost is minimum. Uh, Thirdly, the master's. So the master's degree is kind of the middle ground between the bachelor's and the PhD. So the time spent in school acquiring a master's degree is more than a bachelor's degree, but it's less than a PhD degree. So it's right in the middle. Um, Also, the amount of funding available for a master's program is more than a bachelor's degree, but less than a PhD. So for master degrees, a lot of the students are funded, but the funding could vary. Some students might get 100% funding, some might get partial funding, and the overall proportion of students who are funded in a master's program is less than a PhD program for sure. Um, I'm actually making a separate video on that topic, how to increase or maximize your potential for getting financial aid when pursuing a master's degree, because that's what I did myself. I did a master's degree in engineering here in the US, which was fully funded, and I can provide some valuable insights on how to accomplish that. So look forward to that video. Um, and then one of the other points I want to make is that a master's degree in the US is offered in two options. So you can either do a master's degree with a research based concentration, or you can do a master's degree which is based on coursework and a project, so no real research involved. So if you really don't like doing research, you can just go with the coursework and a final year project and get done with your master's. But if you want to get some experience with research, that option is available as well. So that kind of gives you some choices there with a master's program compared to a PhD, where you are heavily involved in research. uh, all right. Moving on to the subjects. So in either of the degree levels, bachelor's, master's, or PhD, what kind of subjects are in high demand? Um, so the STEM subjects are definitely in high demand. So STEM again refers to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Um, I studied engineering, so I was studying one of the STEM programs. So that's definitely high on the priority list. Other than that, finance, banking, accounting, these kind of programs are also uh, pretty highly sought after, especially if you're interested in working on the Wall Street or the stock market here in the USA. Something along the lines of finance, accounting, business is going to be very helpful. But overall, I think you have masters and PhDs and bachelor programs available in all kinds of subjects, and if there's something you're really interested in, I would motivate you to go after it. Don't worry about what's in demand and what's not in demand, because that can change over time. Just consider your interests, give that the highest priority, because if you do what you enjoy, you have a much higher chance of success compared to doing what you don't enjoy, but what is perceived to be a path to success. All right, so those were my 2 cents on the degree levels and the subjects that would be most appropriate. If you like the video, please subscribe to the channel. It will help the channel out, and also click on the bell icon so you can be alerted whenever I post more videos. Uh, Also in the comments, please let me know if there are certain topics you would want me to cover. I won't be able to cover individual topics, but if enough people request it, I'll definitely make a video on it. So that's it with this video. See you again with another one. Thank you.